Do I need to give my residential address, or can I give the 155 Raffia Road address too? Oh, all right. I'm just curious. 18 months ago, it was irresponsible and wrong to say the following statements. COVID is similar to the flu. Many people hospitalized or dying only have positive tests, but are not sick from COVID. Comorbidities are a major factor in hospitalizations and death. Cloth and surgical masks offer no protection from transmission or respiratory diseases or viral particles. It is important to protect the vulnerable. PCR tests are not an adequate diagnostic tool. Today, the CDC not only acknowledges but advertises each of these points. This is good news, since this is the only authoritative source of information Since the only authoritative source of information has changed its stance, we are now in agreement. At the last in-person meeting, the one that wasn't canceled, Mr. Delaney gave a speech and advocated for all of us to think critically about why we are not seeing the amount of spread in our schools like we are in the community. Given all the facts, he said, there are only one conclusion he can come to. The only difference is that the masks are to be worn at all times in schools. What I see is transmission is low in our building and everyone has to wear a mask, so the masks must work. I applaud the superintendent for advocating for all of us to think this through critically, but there is one very problematic flaw in his analysis. Can you think of anything that was left out of your analysis, Mr. Delaney? I know we can't dialogue, but maybe you can write it down. What characteristics of a school population may be a factor that differs from community population? The school populations are comprised of children. The one known and universally agreed upon point is that children are not highly susceptible to the disease, nor are they vectors for transmission. This has been borne out by the data over the last 2 years. I thank Mr. Delaney for at least explaining his reasoning through this. Explaining his reasoning, and through this back and forth, this can be important. This is what gives us a chance to have a more critical analysis and conclude information and perspectives that are not our own. But the superintendent's analyst did not include the single most important fact set that parents, medical professionals, and yes, the CDC have repeatedly stated. And by that standard, it fails as an example of critical thinking. Rather, it serves as an example of correlation fallacy. Put masks on a population largely not susceptible to the virus, then claim victory when said population has low incidences. It shows how mass marketing and personal bias can create blind spots for all of us. But here is the important point. By offering his explanation, the superintendent has provided an opportunity for us to dialogue and to learn from each other, and I thank him for that. The only way we can find a better solution for our kids by actually engaging with each other.
Mr. Flaherty, unfortunately, your time is up.
Time to end masks. Thank you.